That was interesting. I was just about to go live in a couple of minutes, and rod ripped around. A little catfish. There we go. Little channel cat. Just pulled the rod off the rest just as I was about to. I was just setting up the live, and away he went. Oh, he's grunting. I can hear him from up here. Get out of the net. Okay, that's a good way to start. Always good to start with fish when you're on the bank. Oh, slimed my rig. All right, let's change this. That was on the method feeder, and just a single piece of sweet corn. Now I've been out for a few hours. I did some filming while I was out earlier, and I landed 4 carp and lost one. One on the method feeder, and the one I lost and the 3 that I landed were on the waggler, about a rod length out. So that video needs to be edited, but that was a fun way to start the morning. I don't want to put the method feeder back out there because that took a long time to get that catfish bite. So let's try. Let's switch this up to put the bomb and corn out. So 20-gram bomb, little hair rig with 2 pieces of pineapple corn. And I have a baited spot out there where I've been putting my tiger nut and corn and super fruit and crumbed boilie mix just out to the left. So every now and then I drop a line on that, see if anything happens. So I've had a few like small catfish and 1 carp off of that area. Okay, so we'll just see if anything's rocking over there with the 2 pieces of corn. So yeah, we're live. A few minutes early, just because of the way that fish decided to bite while I was setting it up. As I'm setting everything up on the phone, rod goes, crap, hit live, throw it in the stand. But yeah, good to see you. We're live for May, and I always have a hard time trying to set up a live on the bank. Connections seem to always be a problem when they shouldn't be. I'll have full bars, but the connection won't work. Dave and I tested out the connection this morning, and it seemed to work flawlessly. So we're giving this a go. And like I said, apologies for starting a little early. That was that catfish's fault. But yeah, on the bank, nice spring morning, middle of May, or I guess it's still kind of early May, and on the Welland River. So if you've seen the last video that we did, where I was on the seat box, fishing just off to the left with the feeder rod for carp, I'm in the same spot. Can't really see that great, but yeah, decided to be on the seat box again today, try a few different things, fiddle around. All of my proper carp gear is ripped apart in my basement right now. The annual spring trip that I tend to get myself into happens next week. So I got a few days left to put together the rods, all the proper carp tackle. I got to decide what hook baits I'm taking. I've got kilos and kilos and kilos of DT Baits boilies, mostly Superfruit, some Tutti Frutti. I think I still got some N Blend, and yeah, just oh, and some peach and sour cream. I've got a whole bunch of it. That looks like a little bump. So yeah, for that trip, I take a fair bit of gear, so it all needs to be pulled apart, cleaned, rigs tied, and I need to kind of do that tonight, because if there's anything I'm missing or anything I need before I leave, I need to get an order into Carp Kit, because I can't go on a trip missing the stuff I need, and I won't know what I'm missing if I don't go through it all. So the proper carp gear comes out next weekend for our spring trip, and then after that, pretty much jumping into full-on carp mode for the upper river, some stretches up here, and a few other places that I've got in mind, as well as some of the match fishing with the match club that I've been doing, because I'm not gonna lie, I really love this setup. How can I show you this? We'll see if the phone stays in the stand. So I'm on the seat box. I got the rod in the feeder arm there. A couple extra rods with the different tricks that I'm using. One's the Waggler rod that I've had most of my fish on today. The feeder rod I've had a few on. It's my side tray. Couple mixes of my DT bait mix that I make, kind of like a paste and ground bait for method feeders. A little bit more of it there, some sweet corn. I have worms, haven't touched them at all. Pepperoni stick. I had a nice channel cat on a pepperoni stick this morning, so that was fun. I do finally have the new 3-meter net handle, which, being elevated the way I am, about 4 feet up off the water, and it's really shallow there, so I got to get it out a little further. What a difference. And it's super strong as well. Super strong. I put some 14 and 15 pound carp in this net, and it's handled them no problem, even though it's kind of hard to get them curled up into it when you're doing the scoop. Once they're in it, they don't come out. So really happy with that. Now, I'm hoping that the chat is open. Is the chat open? It looks like the chat's open. So if you're just jumping in, there we go. Dave Newman, good afternoon. Okay, now I know the chat's working. Dave Newman, I should see you tomorrow at the match with the Match Angling Club Ontario United. We have, I think it's our 3rd match tomorrow. New venue. Haven't fished that venue since I was probably 13 or 14 years old. So, damn, that's a long time ago. It's like well over 30 years ago. So be down there fishing against each other again. Dave did better than me last time. The last match we did was at the NET campground. It's such a fantastic venue. Unfortunately, Shandor and I had we were side by side, and we had like all of the big open water area, and all of our fish were on the far side, just out of casting range. So There were some people that didn't weigh in any fish. Shandor and I did weigh in some fish. He weighed in 10 ounces of catfish, and I weighed in 6 ounces of catfish. So I was officially the lowest amount of weight weighed in that match. It's kind of better than blanking, but not really. So yeah, like I said, if you're just joining us now, I apologize for the wind. It's been dead calm all morning, and now it's just crazy windy, and it's circling around, so I can't even do anything to block it. But yeah, I've had a few fish today. I don't know. I think I'm up to 3 or 4 catfish and 4 carp landed, 1 lost. Really fun morning. It was a late start, slow start. Wasn't really a rush. Wasn't sure where I was going to fish yet. I drove around and looked at a few other spots on my way out this way. I even looked at a few spots downriver, and nothing looked to be as accessible as I needed it to be. So I did just kind of break down and decided to come back to this spot that I've done now. I think this is my 3rd trip to this spot this season, as the spring has been progressing. And I've had fish each time. I've done really well here, and I've really enjoyed it. And yeah, when I got here, the carp were right in the margins, just moving up and down in the margins here. So I fished for them in the margins with the waggler, and like I said, that video will be coming soon. What was that? I'm pre-feeding granddaughter. Ah, nice. Dave's visiting with the little granddaughter, who seems to be doing better and better every time he talks about her, which is great news. So I'm sure she'll be heading home soon. Anybody else on the bank right now? I wanted to go back on the waggler line after the last fish that I had. Probably like a 12 or 13 pounder, just right in front. That fish was all over. Like, that was a long fight with the light line. It was just every which way, every direction, and really stirred up the swim in front. I have kept baiting it, periodically, but nothing has come back in the margins here. So I haven't put the waggler back out. If I do see signs there again, I'll put the waggler back out while we're live. But yeah, since the sun came back out and the clouds just seemed to disappear completely, they stopped coming in the margins. When it was still cloudy, they were all right there. Next fish, 12-pound mirror. Come on. There are mirrors up here. I know they've been caught just upstream of me as early as last summer. I would love to get a mirror right now. But a little bit of corn, a little bit of the paste mix. Paste mix also has some of the 7 mil pellets in there. Apparently now those 7 mil pellets are all over my gear. So yeah, while they were biting out right in front here, just kept light baiting, feeding regularly and often. Just, a few kernels here, a few kernels there, maybe the odd slingshot pouch, but just steady bait in the front, and that really seemed to keep them right in front of me, right close. But I've also been keeping bait going out in a pretty big area, and we'll see. I've had the one carp and a couple catfish off of that baited area out there. The method feeder, it did some bites, but not as much as I would have thought. It is a much smaller method feeder than I would normally be using, but this is what I had on, and I don't want to have to cut and retie until I get everything ready for tomorrow. So normally I would have one of my slightly larger Drennan feeders on. But because I'm putting steady bait out, we'll just try the bomb and corn for a little bit, see what happens. I'll probably do a recast in a minute. It seems like when I go a long stretch without a recast, I don't even get any indication, and then just out of nowhere, then I'll get a bite. But when I'm doing regular recasts, I seem to get more liners, more knocks and bumps. I do enjoy this style. The seat box, the tray, everything kind of just to hand and right here, and everything's really kind of like, it's almost like you're in like this awesome fishing capsule kind of thing. Don't get me wrong, I like sitting behind a couple rods and just watching the birds and waiting for that alarm to go, but I've really gotten enamored with this match style because it's so intense and in the moment and very, very positive and active. It's almost like when you have a slow stretch, kind of like I'm in right now, where the bites are a little bit further between. You kind of forget that you have to keep watching the rod tips, looking around and enjoying things. And I was on the phone with Dave earlier, just kind of going over some of the plans for some of the upcoming videos, and a feature that he's done for CCS TV. And yeah, like just chatting on the phone, I wasn't watching my float. I had literally talking to him on the phone, just changed the battery in the camera and wasn't watching my float, and I just heard this big splash and eruption of water, and my line just started peeling off. The rod was just cruising. Had to drop the phone and hang up with Dave, hit record on the camera, and probably the coolest moment of my whole morning with this massive eruption in front of me. I wasn't ready and didn't capture it. We do have the fight and the fish on camera, but just thought it was crazy. And there was two guys next to me this morning. They had a 16 or 17 pound carp on a worm, and then they had a sheephead, and they probably had their heart skip a beat because the way that fish took off just scared the crap out of them. It was awesome. Let's do a recast. Right into a snag. Come on. You gotta be kidding me. Pulled that right into a snag. And there goes that setup. Damn it. Didn't that happen in the last video we just did? Oh yeah, that's chewed up. Okay. Not there. No, back here. I guess we'll go back to the feeder rod. Got a size 12 hook on. Get some gooey paste in there. very gooey. Let's do a pineapple corn on this one. Yeah, I'm not out much longer, but you know, I've been trying to do the lives on the bank, and it's just been so difficult getting schedules and timing and weather to line up. Go on the shorter line there. It's about 30 meters there. Just a little bit closer spot that I had baited up with the feeder rod. Now, see what happens. No snags. Okay, pretty sure I saw another comment there. Dave will have new catapults for next week. Interesting. If you're getting liners, you might be fishing too far out. Put a worm on and fish 3 foot out. Bet you get one. Actually, they shut off of worm pretty quickly here. I haven't even put the worms on this week. Last time I was here, I had a few bites on worms, but they wanted corn. As far as the liners being too far out, yeah, it's kind of deliberate. I want to see where I'm getting activity, where I'm getting movement. So if I'm sitting out there and I'm getting a lot of liners, my next cast will be shorter, and I'll just keep kind of starting out further, bouncing back, starting out further. If you watch the last video we did, you'll see that when I've got it out there, because it's a relatively clean bottom, he says after he just snapped off another rig, just every couple of minutes, you know, a little turn of the reel, just drag the rig a little bit, then drag the rig a little bit. So about every 3, 4, 5 minutes, I'm moving that rig closer and closer on each cast. It helps to trigger a bite, but it also, if I'm getting lots of liners but I'm not getting takes, as I drag it closer and closer, then I tend to find out, okay, how close I am when I do get that take. Can't go 3 foot out though, because 3 foot out, it's only about that deep. But you go 8, 9 feet out, that's where I had all my fish this morning, and that will be in the next video that I put out from this spot. That was fun. Yeah, the catfish just really aren't playing ball like they were when it was still kind of cold. Now that everything's warming up faster, even when I'm fishing out deep in the channel, it's hard to get the catfish to bite. The carp are definitely switched on and playing ball now. There's obviously been lots of other anglers here. You know, they see packages for hot dogs and chicken livers and worm containers. They're obviously here for catfish. The carp, though, are just, they're everywhere. They're jumping like crazy today. It's really, really nice to see. I've even had a bald eagle and an osprey fly over me this morning. Just, you know, cruising up and down the length of the river. It's a nice spot. I really like it. And the nice thing is you know, as much as it sucks to hear the road noise, because the road's right there, I'm fishing out of the back of the van. So everything's right close. It only takes me a couple minutes to set up and pack down. Who else is, if you're not fishing today, who's fishing tomorrow? I know it's Mother's Day around here, but I'm sure some people are sneaking out with the match club. Kind of hard to get around not going. Oh, there's a match. Okay, we got to be there. Ooh, just had a bunch of clouding just stir up in front here, right where I've been putting where I was fishing with the waggler this morning. Something just spooked there. Let's go back to getting some bait in there. There we go. Maybe something just a couple feet out will turn up. I bet you that's the first sign in close in over 2 hours. But if it was there now, it's going to come back. So some baits in. As soon as I start to see those plumes come up again, I'm going to pull this line in and get the waggler back in front. Something close there. Okay, while we're waiting to see what happens here, as I said, the Match Angling Club has got a match tomorrow. Definitely going to be in on that one. That's going to be probably some tricky fishing, but I've been facing a lot of tricky fishing with the matches lately. For those of you that are Canadian Carp Society members, our spring SSF kicks off next weekend. I believe it kicks off on the Friday. So if you are a member, just go up to the top and click on the SSF tab. All the information is there. Just please pay very close attention to the rules. I know there's a few people that have signed up this morning that I haven't got onto the leaderboards yet. I'll be doing that this afternoon. Obviously I'm not at my computer. But sign up, whether you're doing solo or teams. Get signed up, get you on the leaderboards. We've got a few days left to do that. And this is one of our biggest events of the year. One of the most exciting times. It's when we see some of the biggest fish of the year as well being entered in through the SSF. So it's a very, very exciting time for us at the Canadian Carp Society. But again, please read over the rules. Okay, they're there for a reason. It's to keep everything fair. There's 3 specific photos you need to make sure that you've weighed your fish properly and presented it properly for us to be able to, determine everything accurately with your scales. Please make sure you get those 3 photos done properly when you submit them. If those 3 photos aren't exactly as they're supposed to be, as it's outlined on the SSF rule page, the fish won't count. We've tried to be lenient in previous years with the way some of these photos have come in, but it's creating too much of a headache. Everybody knows how to take the pictures they need. Everybody has the ability, and you definitely, if you're set yourself up properly, you can make the time to do it as well. There's really no reason to miss any of the photos you need to enter. So please just make sure you're set up and ready to go with your unhooking mats, your scales, your weigh slings. If you've got everything ready to go, everything goes smooth, everything goes fast, and the fish gets back in the water, you get your entry on the leaderboard. So that'll be kicking off on Friday. As with previous years when I've done the updates on weights, I try to do an update every evening. Now, just like last year, I am away for the start of the SSF. So as long as I have a signal where I'm going to be for my trip, I will be updating every evening as per normal. If for some reason my signal's not very good, the updates might be slightly delayed for the first couple of days, but once I'm back in town for the remainder of the SSF, all the updates will be done every evening. That way everybody can see every day how things are going. Really excited. SSF time is always really, really exciting. It'll be nice to get behind the rods again, like I said, get the alarms just ripping. It seems to bring out some of the most social time with our members as well. Everybody getting on the bank, whether they're part of a team or solo. Even a lot of the solo anglers fish together and work together to make sure that they're doing their best and getting their best captures up on the board. So it's a really, really good time. If you're not a Canadian Carp Society member yet and you've been considering it, I don't know what else to tell you aside from just sign up, go on the website, sign up for the SSF, put aside a couple days during that 10-day run and get some carp on the leaderboards. It's quite the rush. Not getting any bites. I suppose we could put a worm out there. I don't know if I want to, though. That kind of went everywhere. Better. Who else is hanging around? Say hi in the chat if you haven't already. Come on, fish. Figures you have a killer morning, beautiful day out. The last bite right before the camera goes live, and then diddly squat. Straight at me this way. It's been coming from this way. A couple times it's circled around like this. It's irritating. The birds are absolutely loving this sunshine. They are everywhere right now. Come on, fish. Put a worm on and fish close in. On the feeder line or the waggler line? You choose. If it's on the feeder, I'm going probably 15 to 20 feet out or more. If it's on the waggler line, I'll stay within that range. I got a little red worm, so they'll work on either setup just fine. What do you think? I'll put a worm on. Waggler or feeder? Down the edge. Okay, so we'll put it on the waggler. No bait. Half a little red worm. It's a size 14 hook on this, so kind of gotta go with a small piece. There we go, little piece of worm. I don't know how much the wind is gonna be a problem right here. Go, that is less than this rod length out. So we're sitting about 9 feet from the bank. Can't go any closer than that because it's just too shallow. All right. Chunk of worm on the waggler. In close, as requested. Oh, go. It's an interesting spot. The last few times I've fished here, you know, the worm will do really well for like an hour, and then doesn't matter where you put it, you just can't get a touch. I don't quite understand how that works in a river full of catfish, but that seems to be the way it goes. You switch over to corn and it's fish after fish after fish. The last session I had my biggest carp on a little chunk of worm the same size as we just put out, and then after that couldn't get anything on worm, switched to corn and had 3 fish right afterwards. It'll be interesting to see what comes around right here for a worm. It would be nice if the margins were deeper right here. Like if the margins were like this deep, I would bait and fish right up tight to the edge. But it's a slope. So it's like super shallow for 3 feet. Then it starts to taper a little bit better. And then when you get to like 8-9 feet, it's 20 inches, 18-20 inches deep. And yeah, I'm fishing as close right now as I did all morning for those bites. So I don't know if you can see the float there, but it's there. It's just moving with the wind right now. I did try a little further with the float this morning, and one of the fish did come a little bit further, just because I think I had spooked them too much in front. Oh, there's stuff in my pockets. Got some of the inline beads for fishing with the method feeders, just so I can quickly change hook lengths as needed. And rapid stop boilie needle. So I don't know how popular the rapid stop boilie stops are for those of you that follow the channel. I got some somewhere here. Just like other boilie stops, they come in a strand like that. It's this little pointed piece with a hole in the middle. So in the loop of your hair where you would normally put, you know, a stop kind of in the loop, this is tied into the loop so that this becomes your bait stop, and you use that little needle there will actually go into this stop. You push it up through your bait, whether it be, you know, corn or meat or something like that, pepperoni like this morning, and it saves you having to fiddle with that bait stop every time. I wouldn't recommend these for boilies. This is more for softer baits, but I have found these to be kind of handy when I'm fishing this way. That's actually going to be some of the rigs I'm tying up for tomorrow. We'll be using the rapid stop system. Get off there. There we go. Ta-da! Okay. Why aren't the fish taking the worm, Craig? I wish I wouldn't have snapped off the bomb rig, because that had a nice hair on it for a couple pieces of bait. I would have maybe switched to the pepperoni again. We'll give it a few minutes, see if anything happens. If not, put a piece of worm on the other rod, put it out a little further, see what happens. See that Nathan has joined in, snooping around, checking out what's going on. The wind would have stayed down. It was so flat and peaceful all morning. So every little ripple that happened anywhere nearby, you noticed the float dropping was just like you can almost hear it. Just go. Come on. I'm just fishing just slightly over depth. It seemed like when I had a shorter lead below the float, so that my bait was kind of just touching the bottom, I just couldn't keep it in one spot. With the light breeze that we had earlier, and the fact that the flow changes, goes back and forth throughout the day, I couldn't keep it where I needed to, so I had to just give it a little bit extra length and let the last couple shots sit on the bottom, about that much from the last shot to the hook, and it worked really well. Come on, fish. Craig said you were going to bite. I trusted him. It would be nice to get another big carp in here, like in close. So exciting because you're hooking it right there, and then it takes a 60-yard run across the river. I see. Didn't hook it correctly. Yeah, it's interesting how, depending on where you are, everything's done differently. Yeah, I could see you trying to hide the worm or hide the hook in there. It would make sense. Yeah, our fish don't tend to get too shy. Certainly, with the way fishing these European tactics, these fish don't know. I could have a huge hook on there with that little piece of worm and probably still get a bite without issue. I think what the problem is that they're just not in close right now. These are wild fish. They can go everywhere. They're not going to be looking for they're not looking for any normal spot where it would be typically full of bait. This is a popular catfish spot, and it is clear to me that they do come in here, but I think that's more early and late, which would explain why nothing's happening now. Maybe we can just sit on this for a few minutes and see if anything does come turning back up around. I'm not far up from little band in the worm, but yeah, I didn't try to hide the whole thing. I very rarely do. Let's try. Try the worm on the feeder. We'll go out a little farther. Not gonna lie, the soil in the container with the red worms smells like wet laundry. Not liking that smell at all. Okay. That waggler rod is ready with a piece of worm on it. If another fish does turn up in close, we'll put it in there. probably in about 8 or 9 feet of water there. Okay, message feeder, little piece of worm. This got me my biggest carp of the session last time. So we'll see what happens. Something's bound to happen. Green laser the fish into your swim. I don't have the green laser with me. I'm not sure which bag it's in. I think it's still in the trout bag. We can't have this where I get a small fish as we start the live and then nothing for the whole live. It's just not fair. All the trouble to make sure I could be out here and actually get things to work. I should have done the live at 9 o'clock this morning. It was absolutely awesome over here right then. Come on. What else is new and exciting? Maybe the fish are up in the water. The warmer water gets the fish tend to come up off the bottom. It's possible. Definitely possible. Like I said, I haven't had too much activity out deep. They have been in much shallower. So yeah, they might be starting to come up, like being shallow in shallow water. But if one of those ospreys or eagles flies by again, then they won't be there long. Oh, I think we're getting a sniff up on the worm. Yeah, that's definitely a little catfish nibble. That was a really tiny catfish nibble. Shandor, I was just telling everybody a little while ago about how you and I had massive weights at the last match. Actually, if you would have combined your weight and my weight, we would have had an even pound. That's pretty bad. 1 pound of fish between 2 pegs. It was a good day, though. Come on. Anybody get any new gear lately? Springtime is always a good time to be getting new stuff. All the stuff I was waiting for has shown up. There's one other order that I did place a little while ago that is taking its time, but that was very much a spur of the moment, not expected, kind of just I went home and ordered it because of the way I fished during the day. not going to say what it is yet. I'll wait till it shows up, because I can do a comparison of that new item with an item that I already have. More bait rockets on the way for the SSF. No. Yeah, they definitely did not want to cooperate with us at all. I'm amazed that we each had 4 fish. Those 4 tiny catfish. And you beat me by 4 ounces. You know, any other tournament, to say it was so close, you know, the guy next to me beat me by 4 ounces, would sound really cool until you find out that I only had 6 ounces. All right, I wonder if he got the worm. Definitely got part of it. A little bit closer there, not quite as deep. Ooh. Just new bait, no new gear. Would like an aquascope, but they are hard to come by. Yep. And whenever you do find them, they are ridiculously expensive. What I should do is see if I have any, like, I don't know, some Lexan or maybe some plexiglass or something like that at home. We'll just get some epoxy and some plexiglass in a freaking 5-gallon pail and just make one. That might be the option we have to use. But yeah, you being in Spaceball 2, that awesome little boat, I can definitely see in a lot of places where an aquascope would be super, super handy. It was pretty funny last year to see that little boat out with both of us grown men in it and all the electronics we had in that thing looking around, cameras, the sonars and everything. That was pretty awesome. What you need is a funnel that has the big part of the funnel has to be about this big. It has to be about this long. Just cut one end off of it. Glue some clear plastic to the bottom. Wrap some camouflage hockey tape around it. That would do it, wouldn't it? Ooh, we just had a nudge there. Obviously nothing spectacular because it didn't keep going. Come on. This wind is irritating now. The aqua funnel. They must make big funnels, like huge ones. I bet you could go to like a feed store where they sell like farm stuff. You'd probably find something to make a cool one out. Going to miss tomorrow's match. Oh, that sucks. Yeah, if you can fish Peterborough on your way back, definitely do that. There's a lot of good spots in Peterborough. A lot of very pressured spots, but a lot of cool spots with some neat fish. I think I only actually have some pretty limited footage from our adventures in Peterborough and Peterborough area. If you go back to the 12 months of carp, I believe it was the July edition. I'm pretty sure that was done on the Otonabee River. Man, first fish of the session for me to actually get in the net was just a monster. Try a bit larger presentation, bulk it up a bit, use sweet corn worm combo. Funny you mentioned that. I find that this is actually a spot where the worm corn combo does really well.
We let her have 5 minutes in the car to blow up. Yeah, sure. We always tell her.
We'll do that now. Catch anything today? Yes, I crushed it this morning, did some filming. That'll be in an upcoming video. And I got a little catfish just as I was going live. And then nothing. Another little top tip. Blue shop towels. Any of you guys that are like mechanics or, work on heavy equipment or in a shop, usually have some blue shop towels around for cleaning grease off your hands or anything else. They're like the ultimately super durable paper towel. I keep a roll in the van. That little wad of blue shop towel will keep my hands clean all day. All right. Corn worm combo on the hook out there now. Would really like to see some activity in the edge again, but let's see what this does. Watch this get a 20-pound carp. It takes me half an hour to land. Come on. Get these little tiny nibbles on the worm. Every bite that I had all morning was just like savage takes, even from the catfish. Definitely have to tie some rigs tonight for tomorrow's match. It's going to be a deeper spot than the last location. Yeah, there you go, Nathan. Craig said so. Just make one. like to see one decent fish come out for you guys. You know, it's not too far from the end of time that before I have to go home. Did you guys see that? Oh, you didn't see that. Fish just surfaced about 2/3 of the way out. Or not 2/3 of the way out. 1/3 of the way out, not quite half. So you see that tree there, straight out from that tree, about 25 yards. Which is, in all fairness, about the distance my line is right here. Alright, cornworm combos out there. Let's see what's 2 on a blade of grass. Guaranteed bite. It's not the same. You need that, like, it's too early for the grass to have those like long spindly strands with little fluffy bit on the end. That's what you need. There's fish. Cornworm combo. That worked. That's got to be a catfish. Yeah, little channel cat. Oh, come here. Got a little leech on his one of his pectorals as well. On the cornworm combo. There. Live stream where I've been crushing carp all morning. As soon as we go live, all we get is channel cats. And small ones. Such a pretty fish though. I really, really like catching channel cats. Okay, so yeah, Brad wins. Corn and worm. It's funny how you struggle on one or the other, and then it's such a weird mix to just put together and put out there, and then you get a fish on it. All right, let's try it again. That was a little bit more of an aggressive bite than some of those nibbles we were getting. Is there anybody watching who is a member of the CCS and has not yet signed up for the SSF? Yes, definitely. Hopefully we'll get something bigger. I've had some pretty good sized channel cats out of here, and I know of some really big channel cats that have come out of here. So that would definitely be nice to see, whether we get a carp or just a big catfish. Just something a couple pounds would be nice. So yeah, the reason I ask about the SSF members, sorry, CCS members, if you haven't yet signed up for the SSF, I think there's 4 names that I have to add onto the leaderboards. I have to check my emails when I get home, which makes for a pretty good competitive list for anglers in the solo division. There is only a couple of teams signed up, I think 4. So if you and your buddies want to make a team, it's teams of 3. Get some more teams in there. Give some more challenge to the Corn Stars. If you're wanting to get on the solo division, it's a really good list of anglers. We're going to see some good weights coming out of there, some really big fish, I think. And I can't stress this. Oh, I missed that one. I can't stress this enough. If you're not fishing a typical big fish venue, or you see the big fish coming up on the leaderboards and you just don't think it's worth competing, do not give up. Do not be intimidated. Get out on the bank, catch 10-pounders, get them on the board. 3 10-pounders is 30 pounds. There's going to be other anglers that don't weigh that much. Once you got 30 pounds on the board, you have the rest of the SSF to upgrade. Maybe think about going somewhere else and trying where you could get a bigger fish. The hardest bites to get during the SSF are the first 3. Once you get all your fish on the board, you're just upgrading at that point, so it can only get better. Definitely do not be intimidated by some of the big fish that are coming. We've seen time and time again, the typical big fish anglers that, we all watch because they're just consistent big fish anglers. Time and time again, we find out that, somebody didn't sign up, then they had the session of a lifetime during the SSF, and they weren't signed up to enter any fish. They definitely had the chance to win it, but they didn't sign up. So, like I said, it's even if you're not typically catching bigger fish, just get 3 fish on the board. What's the worst that can happen? You're a little lower in the standings, but you're in a list with fish on the board among some names of some amazing anglers that we have here in Canada. I don't care if I win. I don't care if I come top 5. I just like seeing my name with fish beside it in the list of other anglers that are there. All in all, we're doing this for fun. We're doing this for camaraderie, a little bit of banter. Well, okay, a lot of banter. But at the end of the day, we're all working as one big team to get, carp fishing as big here as it is everywhere else. It's not going to happen overnight, and it's not going to happen if we're not working together on it. Putting together these big lists of anglers that are throwing fish up on the board and always having 3 fish, whether it's 3 fish that total 10 pounds or 3 fish that total 100 pounds, it doesn't matter. Get 3 on the board. That's what matters. It's so exciting just knowing I got 3 fish on the board. I don't know how many times the SSF has started tough and I'm just trying to get 3-pounders up there so that I've got my 3, and then I upgrade from there, and then by the end of it I've had a couple of 30s. It's more stressful getting those first fish than it is getting the last fish. Yeah, if you're not sure how much time you have to fish, I can understand. But in all fairness, if you got a morning during that 10-day stretch, even if you have just a morning, and it's like, say, 4 or 5 hours, if you plan your location right, 4 or 5 hours can actually do everything you need it to do. It really can. So, if you're looking at your schedule during the 10-day run of the SSF and you're thinking, okay, I have, the last Sunday and that's it, but I have the whole day, just spend the first part of the week planning out where you're going to be and what you're going to do, then go get some fish. absolutely. Dave hits the nail on the head. 3 fish is an accomplishment in itself. We've had many times where really good anglers on really good spots have only entered 1 or 2 fish over the course of the 10 days. Some people don't want to enter anything unless it's over 10 pounds. Just put the fish out. I don't care if you're catching 2-pounders. Put them on the board. Once you got 3 fish on the board, you're on the board. That's what matters. And even with 3 fish that total 10 pounds or less, you could potentially be above some other names. That's kind of a cool feeling. Okay, we had just had that bite a minute ago. Where the hell did they go? So the corn and worm got us a fish and got us another bite. Nice speech. I'm going to sign up now. Cool. There are some people that sign up and then don't end up getting out. It happens. We all have busy lives. But like I said, Toronto James is a prime example. Didn't sign up, didn't think he was going to go the 1 year. Got out, had a red letter session that absolutely would have crushed the person that won. And the person that won, I think, had over 100 pounds. It's just, you just never know. If you're not signed up, whatever you catch doesn't matter. If you are signed up, you can surprise a lot of people really quickly. Okay, so now the water in front of me is murkier than it's been. So I think the flow is going that way again. The wind is going that way, so that's obviously helping that. Unfortunately, there has not been any more plumes coming up to indicate there's anything close by. If I get one little plume come up, we're putting a rig on them. All right, Brad, what's going on here? The corn-worm combo should be doing a little bit more, don't you think? Murky water equals fish. I don't disagree. I like having a little bit more visibility because I do like using visual baits. But yeah, chocolate water equals sweet action. There's just something special about a muddy river or a muddy creek or a muddy pond. It was nice. It was a little bit clearer this morning, so when the fish were in front and the plumes were coming up, I could actually see the backs of the fish moving through. In all fairness, it turned out I could see the backs of the bigger ones. And then, you know, at any given time, I thought there was just one fish there because I saw one big fish. And then it would turn out that there was like 3 or 4 of them kicking up plumes a little further out that I couldn't see. And then all of a sudden I see a tail. So they're much smaller fish, just going upright. I might have to recast that. No bite on that one. I haven't done enough real exploration around here. I'm pretty sure it's not a taper all the way out. I think there is a short ledge to a bit of a drop, and then it tapers again out to the main channel. Just haven't found it yet. would love to get like the 12-meter pole and fish a pole rig out here, but some of these carp, I don't have the elastics and everything set up for these bigger fish yet. But that would be something to see, to do some pole fishing in close here and hook some of these, 15, 20 pounders. That's what it is. There was a tangle. I blame Dave. I blame Dave Newman for the tangle. Not for any reason in particular, it's just what we're going with. Okay. And I'm wrapped up. Really wrapped up. Downside to catching catfish, twist your line up. It's pretty deep there. Tomorrow's going to be interesting at the match. I'm going to have the feeder rod, waggler rod. I'll set the bomb rod back up now that I have to. And I'm going to have the pole with me for that one, because it sounds like there is some deeper water relatively close. And it sounds like there's a lot of species for that venue. Fish jumping right in the dead center of the river. It's probably like 14 feet deep there. We're still around. So yeah, I'm really actually quite excited to see what kind of species we can get into. I'm really, really hoping, kind of like one of my targets, having gotten into this pole fishing with the elastic and stuff, I want to catch some big rudd on the pole. I love how strong rudd are. They even feel cool on some of my carp gear. And I've had some really big rudd, so I really want to get one with the elastic. So I'm kind of hoping I can run into some of them tomorrow. I did ice fish about 3 or 4 kilometers from the venue through the winter, and I actually had a small rudd through the ice while I was catching sunfish and crappies. So I know the rudd are there. I just want to get one of the big ones. Come on, where's the buck? Another one, just a little further. Okay, next cast. We've been going a while now. Next cast, we'll try to push it a little further, as long as the wind will let us. We'll try and get this feeder with the cornworm combo into the deep channel in the middle, because that's a lot of activity starting to happen again. I don't know, maybe the sun warmed it up a little bit. I don't think it warmed it up too much. Chopped worm would work, but it's expensive here in the UK. Anglers use hundreds of pounds of worm and dominate in carp matches better than the boilie. We're not permitted to put free offerings out with chopped worm and stuff like that. The rules are a little bit tricky with what we can put out as like free bait and whatnot. Um, and it gets even stricter if we want to do like multiple rods for carp. If I want to put my 3 rods out, the bait options are even more limited. That's a big tractor. That's why you see me putting the ground bait kind of paste mix and the corn out. That helps keep me within the rules. Oh, was that wind or was that a bump? Normally I have the feeder arm over there and I have the rod going across the front of me so I can see it go this way, just to get more of a visual indication. But if I do that, then I can't look at you. And if I put the camera facing this way, all you're going to see is the sun. So I don't typically put the rod down and watch the tip go up this way. So it's a little bit more difficult. Yeah, I watch a lot of the match angling videos. You see them, the chopped up worm, they're all using the maggots and pinkies and casters and all this stuff, and it's kind of wild because you're watching all these guys that are using all these natural baits, and they're sponsored by bait companies, but they're not actually using any of those companies' baits in the match. I find that kind of odd. I'm using worms and I'm using corn and I'm using some of these, other kind of more natural baits, but I'm part of the Canadian DT Baits team, so I'm making sure that oh, how did I miss that? Oh my God. So I make sure that I always have some DT Baits items that I'm using. All right, I just missed a massive take. The rod just reefed right up and lifted off the rest, and bringing my bait in, I stirred something up here, so this is all clouded up. So, damn it. That was probably a catfish because the worm is mangled. Something was in close here. Yeah, it's nasty looking stuff because it's just mixed. I've got like blended hemp seed and some whole hemp seed. There's the tiger nut and corn ground bait. There's Tutti Frutti pellets and some ground up boilies. Like when I get down to like a handful of boilies left in a bag, I just grind them up and make them into like a spod mix. So there's like little bits of every kind of DT boilie that I have in here. There's a little bit, I think there might be some cream corn in there, and then a very good helping of Superfruit DNA liquid. Like, I might not be using the DT hook baits, but the DT stuff works. It's going to be part of my arsenal every time I'm out. But yeah, like I said, it's watching some of I like watching the live match videos. So when you're seeing them doing like tutorial type videos or just kind of in session videos, you get to see them using like the ground bait that is with the group they're with, or some of the hook baits and pellets and stuff like that. But then when they're in a live match, they're using stuff that's completely different. And that amuses me. Oh, I think the freaking hook link tangled there. We're definitely deeper. I went further. Something small just swirled in front here and stirred up the bottom. So we we'll give this a few minutes out there, see what happens. We got some fish in close now. Let's keep this line fed. Waggler worm combo might end up going back out soon, but let's see what happens here, because that was an intense take on that feeder a minute ago. And something had clearly come in this way that bringing the rig in spooked, because it was like a trail coming in towards me, all clouded up. Maybe it was me yelling swing tip. I'm not familiar with the term swing tip. It's like a feeder tip. So it's like a 2-piece rod, and then the third piece is just the top section. It's only like this long, and it's super, super light. I just thought it was like a feeder tip. If swing tip is something different, I'm not sure what that is. I'd aim better, get my rod and throw it in the water. I swear this is not my first time fishing. Come on. Let's get another aggressive take. These guys want to see a carp. Or like a massive catfish. Something interesting. All right, so it was a little bit delayed there, but the corn and worm definitely had another bite. And there's another fish jumping down there just past that tree. They are around. They're waking up again. It was quite the lull for a while. Out of snacks, I'm out of coffee. I did not bring my Gatorade. Actually, I may have my Gatorade, but I think it's in the van. I wonder what this spot would be like at night. The two more dominant, bigger fish species that are here are going to be carp and channel cats, both of which can be absolutely insane at night. Might have to do a night session at some point here. A couple of lanterns, and either some cut bait or some chicken gizzard or something. Might be able to get into some absolute monsters. No, it enables you to fish straight out with the feeder instead of your rod to one side. I'll have to look that up, see what that is. Now I'm curious. Bait going in, because if they're still coming around, towards that channel. Now that I think about it, how's my battery life? Cut bait or shrimp at night, big cats. The shrimp I tried once in like the dead of winter, tried for channel cats, and I had a massive bite and I lost the fish. So shrimp is something that I definitely want to try again. But yeah, I think at some point this season I'm gonna have to come back here and try a night session for cats. Swing tip hangs off the rod tip. It's an old school method. Interesting. Yeah, I'm gonna look into that. Now that I know they're coming back in close, I want to fish close, but I don't want to do it until I know they're there for sure. And we've just had some really good bites out further. I might try to film the match tomorrow. I'll get all these batteries charged, cards cleared. I tried to film the last match, but 6 ounces of catfish in 5 hours is hardly entertaining. It certainly wasn't for me. It was a fun day though with the match club. There was, because of the way the different pots and different sections are set up, I think there was like 5 people that went home with money at the end of that match. Nuno won our section. He had a couple of carp early on, and then everything just kind of dried up on him. He had some catfish. I was really hoping to get the carp on me before the end of the match. Once I figured out where they were, I just couldn't reach them. Can you use elastic in your method feeders in Canada? Yes, we can. I don't have any elasticated feeders, but I am thinking about getting some, because just watching the way they're used over your way looks interesting to me. Shandor, I'm only taking pictures or videos if I actually catch fish. I do think that rig tangled on the way out. Not gonna lie, I love this rod. Really, really love this rod. All right. Oh yeah, just twist around, bugger. Bottom there. What do we got here? Fish usually hook themselves, helps when playing the fish too, less bump offs. It's the less bump offs that's interesting. Yeah, that's got me interested. What was it? I think it was last night. I fell asleep before the whole video was done, but I was watching a video, I think on the Preston channel, of Death Ship and Zolt fishing together, kind of like pre-fishing before a match, and Death Ship was using elasticated feeder, and as he's bringing the fish into the net, you're just watching that feeder stay still with his line, and then all the work's being done on that elastic to the hook. Yeah, I can see how we would lose a lot less fish using that. So I'm gonna look into that. Phone's just going off like crazy today. Come on, give me a freaking fish. Where are we at? Okay, probably gonna wrap this up in about 15 minutes, so now the pressure's on. But I do gotta get home, hang out with the little guy for the evening, and get stuff ready for the match tomorrow. It might have been a late start this morning, but I've still been out since, I think I left the house around 6, but I didn't start fishing till 8. I need to get some You Miss Less bites. It's not overly easy to get stuff here, but I am going to look into those because I'm more interested now that you keep talking about it. Yeah, finding places that'll ship to Canada that actually have the match style stuff, that's a little bit trickier. Most of the stuff, certainly what I've been ordering to come with the seat box, I've been ordering that stuff from Spain because they're the ones that are willing to ship here at a decent rate. It's just I'm having to wait like 3 weeks to a month to get them. Most of the UK shops I order from, they're big carp sellers. Don't really carry much in the way of match stuff. Wow, we had a couple of really good bites like back to back there, and then nothing again. bet you can get some from there. You watching the notifications on my phone? Because I just had like 3 notifications from Temu pop up. Yeah, I can check there for sure. Oh, getting little catfish nibbles again. And as soon as I said it, he stops. I'm actually surprised I haven't seen any rudd up here. The Welland River has a lot of rudd in it, even in some of the backwaters, like some of the creeks that shoot off of it. You know, I'm a ways up. Pretty much where I live is right at the mouth of the Welland River, where it meets the Niagara. Takes me about 35, 40 minutes to drive up to this part of the Welland River where I am. I'm not at the headwaters, but I'm not in the middle either. Like I'm a long ways up, but yeah, it's kind of weird that I haven't seen any rudd up here. Some clouding going on down to the left. There's no bait over there, but there's definitely some clouding going on the bottom there. Whatever it is, it's skittish. Pushing out a little bit further there. There should be lots of bait here, so if it comes in any closer, we'll get a rig right there. You know what? Let's get a rig ready and close. Tangled. Worm's all dry. Oh, no, 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 no. That was a big fish. Did you guys see that fish take off? That was a big fish. Just the float just started trotting away ever so slightly. That was a good fish. Oh my God. That tiny hook has been crushing it for me. That was a big fish. That was over 10 pounds. Just come unbuttoned. Okay, I hate that I lost that fish. I really do. But I absolutely love that you guys saw me lose that fish. Because you guys saw me hook the fish. Oh, that was that was sucks and awesome at the same time. That was awesome. And now there's definitely not going to be anything in close for a while. Damn it. That was awesome. Okay. Here's what we're going to do. I'm going to I'm going to pack up and go home. See you later, Dave. Off to work you are. Craig, I'm going to look into those elasticated feeders. Thanks for telling me about them. I'm also going to look into a swing tip just so I know more about what that is. Brad, thank you. You were on the money with hookbait option. That definitely had us get some activity when there was none happening. All of you for joining in, hanging out with us in the chat. Shandor, Dave Newman, all you guys, thank you. Really appreciate it. It was a lot of fun. I'm sorry that I'm not on the bank for the lives as much as I want to be, but I'm so glad we got to today. And it sucks losing fish, but if you're going to end, just do everything epically, right? That was a good fish. That was an awesome little short battle for what it was, right there in close. Yeah, what a great morning. New video will be coming soon. Shot that this morning, do exactly what I just did there, but I only lost one. I landed the rest, so I didn't screw it all up like I just did there. But more of that coming on the channel soon. And yeah, we'll see what happens on the trip next weekend. Hopefully, shoot a few clips here and there of what's going on there. That could be a lot of fun. Like I said, Dave and I have been talking about different things, and we still want to see if we can get a spring trout video. We both kind of have that itch we want to scratch. So yeah, a lot of fun being on the bank live with you guys this morning. We went almost 2 hours. It's been a while since we've done one this long. Yep, definitely. Yeah, it sucks that we lost it, but a lot of fun. Chocolate water equals something sweet. Yeah, I'm gonna pack all this down, get headed home, get ready for the match tomorrow. Again, if you're a CCS member and you're not signed up for the SSF, even if there's only a chance you'll get a morning out, sign up for the SSF. Get your name on the board. If you're not yet signed up to be a member of the Canadian Carp Society, just remember, you don't have to be in Canada. We have members from all over the world. It's a great platform to keep in tune with what's going on, here in Canada on our carp scene. We have a lot of amazing anglers and a lot of amazing people in this group and on that site. So you don't have to be here to be a member. So check it out. It's worth checking out. thank you all for joining me. Really appreciate it. All of you, take care, and we'll see you on the next live in June. Not sure. Not sure where I am for the live that day. I think it's a day that I work, so we'll see what happens. But we'll definitely get on the bank for a live again soon as I can. And yeah, thank you all for your well wishes for tomorrow. I'm gonna try my best. Can't say that I always do, but definitely new venue, lots of species, kind of opportunity there. I'm gonna be working pretty hard to try and get some fish tomorrow. So thank you all. We'll see you guys all next time. I can't get the buttons right. I always get the buttons wrong.